This is RamView.
It's hot out there, but let's blow them off the line of scrimmage. Headline, Los Angeles.
Live from the RamCave, I'm Joe Terosian, and this is RamView, the September 10th, 2025 edition, brought to you by Kistler Law Firm. Injured in an auto accident, need help, got questions? Call Kistler Law at 661-206-6990. That's Kistler Law at 661-206-6990. And check out KistlerLawFirm.com. That's one word, KistlerLawFirm.com. Kistler Law, they've been fighting for you since '92. And by Temple City Auto Repair. Having some auto issues, get yourself some John and Henry at TempleCityAutoRepair.com. All right, thank you for joining me on this somber day. I went through some debate, asked some friends, asked some key people that are part of RamView and everything, and they suggested that I still do the show. One good reason was don't let the evil disrupt our lives. Let's keep letting the evil know that it can't change us. Some people were saying for a distraction. We're a very small fish in the whole scheme of things right now. So I just want to keep this about football today, guys. I know there's a lot of stuff. You guys, most of you probably know which side of the fence I lean on worldview-wise. This is a difficult day, but RamView is about football, and I will be doing my Burbank Faith virtual broadcast tomorrow, and hopefully something new tomorrow as well. But I just want to make sure that we keep it about football today. And if you're not in the mood to watch this today, that's fine. Watch it later. I totally get it with everything that is going on. All right. First note comes in, and it's one of the first things we're going to talk about. Bill from Philly. Why do we always have offensive line injuries after week one? I don't get it. Well, I'll hit on that in a second. Well, I'll hit on it right now. My feeling is here, Bill, don't get worked up about Avila, Dotson, and Havenstein sitting out practice Wednesday. It's the same KBM, remember, that was trying to tell us that Alaric Jackson and Matthew Stafford wouldn't be ready or suiting up for week one. Remember that? And both those guys went the distance. And Stafford, remember, he's going to be raw. He's going to be whatever. You know, he's not going to be connecting with anybody. The guy's throwing no-look passes downfield. So we know where Stafford is, and everyone's slobbering all over themselves about Stafford's PFF grade, whatever PFF. And then Alaric Jackson, like, again, he wasn't perfect, but it sure wasn't Bobby Evans out there at left tackle, was it? So that part worked out really well. And when it comes to Avalon Dotson, obviously getting care for their ankles. It's Wednesday. Avila finished the game. He came back in last week or on Sunday. Dotson, that's a little more curious. We'll see what's up with that. And Havenstein, remember Havenstein didn't take a snap during the preseason again. Havenstein's in his 11th year. Havenstein doesn't need to practice, not much more than Matthew Stafford needs to practice. I don't care if Havenstein practices all season now that he's in his 11th year, and if indeed his last year on this contract, if this is his last rodeo, if he's out there, 16 of 17 games, 15 of 17 games, give him Wednesdays off. I'm good with it. I'm really, really good with it. Some of these veterans, it's to the point where the mind is there, right? The knowledge is there. It's just about keeping that body fit for happiness on Sunday. Let's see. Steve Ramirez gives me a thumbs up. I think that's on the subject we were talking about at first there. Thank you for that encouragement, Steve. USA Expat. It sounds like those ankle injuries are not high ankle, which would make them serious, which has happened there in Seattle. Seattle has a high ankle injury to deal with. Real quick here. This comes from loyal RamView follower Tim in Irvine. He sent me this. He says, what do Caleb Williams, Tua, Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy, Aaron Brooks, the old Saints quarterback, Archie Manning, and Russell Wilson all have in common? I'll give you a second to answer. 9 games back, I'm still rooting for the Mets. What do Caleb Williams, Tua, Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy, Aaron Brooks, Archie Manning, and Russell Wilson have in common? They have in common that they all beat the Rams in their first start against them. And the Rams faced Cam Ward this week. And Cam Ward, by all reports, I can't tell from 3 minutes of highlights. I didn't see the game. Cam Ward, by all reports, they say played well. I listened to some Titan talk the other day, or earlier today. I did. It's been a long day. And they said he acquitted himself really well. And so the problem is the Tennessee offensive line, which can be at best so-so or completely bad. Skoronski there at left guard is pretty solid, but everyone else there is kind of it's kind of a mishmash. So my heart says Rams are going to chew them up. My head says be careful, right? Tennessee doesn't have huge stars. Not on defense. They don't have any huge stars on defense. They got L'Jarius Sneed. He's back. He played about half the game last week against the Broncos. But L'Jarius Sneed working back in the shape versus Stingley, who played. You need two corners to cover these Rams receivers, right? You need two, okay? And so I think there's opportunity here. They'll be matching up with Joseph Sebastian Day on the defensive line. He graded out as their best player last week on the defensive line. No shade to Joseph Sebastian Day or Sebastian Joseph Day. No shade on him, but his impact with the Rams was minimal, and they moved off of him when they had the opportunity. And so he's making noise now with Tennessee, but that lets you know where he's at. There's opportunity here for a 34-10 victory. My head says be careful. And I'm thinking on the road, just those games, man. The Rams sometimes have those games where they take care of business, but they always make you sweat. And so right now I'm guessing non-committal 20-17. Last ad on the Texans fans, the woman with the broken bloody nose, folks. That's why I have a RamCave. That's why I have a RamCave. That's why, until I'm credentialed again, which it may or may not ever happen, I am going to watch every game in the comfort of the RamCave, right? That's what it's for, because I just don't want to sit next to drunks and obnoxious people. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see. Tim Burns, Purdy may be out, so the San Fran health issues begin. In earnest, right? In earnest. Steve Ramirez, McVay said Monday he has to figure out a way to get Ferguson into the offense. Yeah, actually, I lifted that quote off the site. Ferguson is going to be a factor for us. We've got to be able to figure out a way to get him involved, McVay said. He had the groin injury where he missed a bunch of time. That type of game felt like he was going to be the best approach. Obviously, great having Higbee back. I think Parkinson and Allen have both improved tremendously. And Ferguson's a guy that's going to be a really good player for us. When Ferguson's blocking is better than any one of those other threes, he's going to get on the field, right? He's going to get on the field. I think he's kind of protecting them after this last week where he didn't play a snap on offense. Let's see here. It sounds like, let's see, Tim Burns, blah, 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 Steve Ramirez, McVay, blah, blah, blah. Steve Ramirez, Archie Manning didn't score in 1770. Wasn't it 71? Wasn't it in 71? Archie Manning trash. He's not trash, Willie. Tim Burns, Shiloh Sanders sued the NFL, pretty much ending any chance to be in the NFL. He sued the NFL? I didn't even see that story, Mr. Burns. USA expat, nothing against our great wide receivers, but we need to establish a solid running game early in the season. I agree. I admit that probably my biggest takeaway from the Houston game was I was really disappointed that they didn't run the ball. On the perimeter, they got some good corners. They got a decent safety, and they got some great edge guys there with Houston. And I really felt like the Rams should have run up the middle on them a little bit better, and they didn't. Maybe that's first game. Okay. Maybe that's getting back in rhythm. All right. But that part was disappointing. And I think they should be able to run on the Titans. And so, yeah, we'll see how that plays out. But I agree with you. Steve Ramirez, my biggest con of going to games is people getting up and blocking my view during plays. Oh, man. See, I haven't seen a game at SoFi. I've been there, but I haven't seen a game there. What USC did with the Coliseum, as someone who went there as a kid, is amazing. It's a nice venue to watch a game. I don't know if the parking's great and all that kind of stuff, but as far as proximity, they did a really good job, because I remember what the Coliseum was like. But I also remember this. When I went to the game when I was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, people watched the game. They're not watching the game anymore because these are LA people, right? And there was a constant stream in the aisle of people just getting beers. And it's like, football's a timed event. It's not like baseball where you can go for a hot dog in the bottom of the 6th and be back before the top of the 7th is even over, right? And they're going up that lane, that aisle, and you're trying to see. It really bugs me. There you go. I'm there with you, Steve. Let's see. Willie Bowen, Joe, you skip over my response on Archie Manning being trash. I don't want to take a shot at you, Mr. Bowen. I mean, Archie Manning was a really good quarterback who might have be better remembered if he played someplace other than New Orleans, if free agency was actually legitimately real in the 70s, if, whatever voodoo curse they put on Serrano's bat, they certainly put that on the Saints at the same time. I mean, you feel for Archie Manning, you do, but I don't think he's trash. I didn't know where you trash. I love you, Willie. I am sorry, I didn't mean to dog you. Bill, who's going to be the best rookie, Stewart or Ferguson? That's early to call. We'll just say that Stewart is one up right now. He's one up with that deflected pass. Willie Bowen, that is why the fullback is needed to run up the middle. There you go. And Tim Burns would concur with you, because a 2.9 yard per average by Kyron kept his usage down, in my opinion. They could have thrown somebody out there to block from, with the offensive line doing what it needs to do. They don't need that fullback. If they got a tight end there doing what they need to do, those receivers doing what they need to do, I think they're going to be okay. But, it's hard to make a defense when they didn't really run the ball that well. USA Expat, rotate all 3 running backs and go with the hot hand instead of making Kyron the workhorse. Everyone, I'm for Corum getting more snaps, because I think the carries you don't get now are the carries you can have in week 17, 18, and in January. But Jarquez Hunter, right? Can he protect Stafford? That's what it really boils down to. USA Expert, Kyron's credit for giving up a sack, so much for his outstanding pass protection. He is good. Sometimes guys give up sacks. Thomas Wilson, Titans right tackle J.C. Latham has a severe hip pointer. Titans left tackle Dan Moore Jr. is terrible. Now, if Steeler fan Rob were on the line with us today, he would be reminding us how bad Dan Moore was when he played left tackle for the Steelers last year. Latham is banged up. He truly is. Willie Bowen, Jordan Whittington, and Xavier Smith getting their first reception TDs for this season. That catch, we didn't talk much about that throw that Stafford had to Xavier Smith. Did you see him just that doing that little toe tap along the sideline there? This guy is more than a special teamer. It's exciting to see. Do you think a trade for a good center could vastly improve our line? In the offseason, yes. At this point, I don't know who's going to give one up. And right now, they can go 3 deep at center. I think they brought McMahon back. Did they bring McMahon back on the practice squad? But they also got Diedick can play some center. He played center at USC. And then you got Shelton. And then you got Limmer. And my guess is it's not because of physical ability that Coleman is playing over Limmer. It's because he just knows the system. He just knows the calls. He's experienced. And maybe they believe he wouldn't have gotten distracted or missed Jalen Carter 13 yards away from the game-winning touchdown in the playoffs last year. So I don't know if they'd make a center trade at this point, unless there's a total, a 2022 offensive line chainsaw massacre like there was that year. We don't know. All right, let's keep rolling along. I'm Joe Terosian, sports writer for 21 years. Still am providing content to Mid-Valley Sports. You could read Tim Burns' column NFL notes and numbers. It's on our site there at Mid Valley Sports. Check it out. Tim Burns does a great job. But we do this show thanks to our sponsor. Our sponsor is Kistler Law, and we appreciate Kistler Law, and we appreciate you guys buying my books. My books are on Amazon. Be sure to check those things out and leave a review and let me know when you buy one. I'd be really happy to hear what your thoughts are. 3 football novels out there. My last one about the Rams and Packers in a fictional NFC championship game, which has gotten some good reviews. All right. Around the NFL and other places, Eagles put Jalen Carter on the suspended list. I guess that means he's missing next week. They also acquired Tank Bigsby from Jacksonville for a 5th and 6. He's a running back. And because they traded away a running back, I don't know, no one's brought it up yet, the Jaguars signed Cody Schrader off the Rams roster, and Cody Schrader is now a Jacksonville Jaguar. Cody, we barely knew you, loved you, but there was just no room for you. And Ronnie Rivers, that would mean Ronnie Rivers continues on the practice squad, and if there's an injury, Ronnie Rivers could be brought up to the active roster again. Jadeveon Clowney visits the Cowboys. That would be a good move for the Cowboys, but I heard Deron Bland has another foot injury, and he could be out for a couple of weeks, so that kind of hurts them. I think they got the Giants coming to town this week. Steelers release a pair of Rams and a pair of McCutcheons. They released Cam McCutcheon, cornerback, and Lance McCutcheon, wide receiver. Jets re-signed former Ram receiver Tyler Johnson. Let's see here. Steve Ramirez. Packers versus Rams may not be a fictional NFC title game this year. You know, guys, if that happens, I don't want to be that guy. But I would require all of you to buy that book. I'm going to be insufferable if the Packers have to come to SoFi for the NFC title game. Thank you very much, Steve. I will be someone that's going to talk all day long. Let's look at some local teams that we always talk about, keeping an eye on the Bolts from Brazil, the Chargers. If Quentin Johnson could be the guy they drafted him to be, Keenan Allen can stay healthy. I don't know. I think they have a shot. They have a shot of maybe making some noise to the NFC West, making the playoffs. It's just about overcoming the Spanos curse. Raiders are playing the Chargers this week. Brock Bowers, I guess, is day-to-day. I'm excited about that game. Harbaugh versus Carroll 3.0, right? USC Stanford, Seahawks 49ers, and now Raiders Bolts. I want to see the handshake after that game. Fog City, as it was mentioned, Brock Purdy is listed as a long shot to play. Toe injury, shoulder injury. They say the toe is worse. George Kittle on the injured reserve with a hamstring. Jake Moody released, 3rd-round pick, 99 overall, another missed top 100 pick. They also put Robbie Chosen in the street, and they extended the contract of right tackle Colton McKivitz for 3 years. Now, the thing about McKivitz, I'm not a big McKivitz fan, but you know what McKivitz says? McKivitz kind of stays out there, and he stays healthy. And he's still, I think, in his 20s, where Jake Brendel is in his 30s now, and, of course, Trent Williams was a tennis player with Methuselah. They've been around for quite a while. Seahawks got a little bit of trouble there in their secondary. Tariq Woolen. It's actually Reek Woolen now. Remember about 3 years ago, he was, a 5th-round, 6th-round pick who made some noise as a rookie, struggled badly as a sophomore, and then last year kind of bounced back, paired with Devin Weatherspoon. Well, he got torched a few times there against Frisco, so they're having some issues with him. And then draft pick Nick Emmanwori. Remember, there are a lot of Ram fans talking about Nick Emmanwori. Heard a lot of buzz about how physical he was, a Legion of Boom 2.0 forming, and that's the high ankle sprain that has come up. Emmanwori has a high ankle sprain, and the IR is a possibility. Cardinals had some injuries. Cardinals got to figure out what they're going to do in terms of you can't beat the Saints by a touchdown. You just can't, and then call yourself a contender. I know this is a good team. I think this is a team on the ascent, but and I guess Kyler Murray was a little under the weather this week, but it's important to he's got to play better. He just has to. He has to take control of this team. All right, let's see what else we got here. Tim Burns, the ghost of Ronnie Rivers, lives. You can't kill that guy. You know, he's the Christopher Lee of the NFL. You know, you kill Dracula and Christopher Lee keeps coming back. And Ronnie Rivers, you can't stop this guy. How many times has it looked like, oh, he's done? There's no way he's going to make this roster. And he just keeps hanging on. I'm kind of excited now. Now that Cody Schrader's gone, who I liked, it's kind of over now. Let's see. It's like heaven can wait. Wins movie. My game day in the RamCave book. As soon as one of you guys find me somebody that wants to give me some coin, I'll sell the rights. I'll sell the rights in a minute, man. Maybe I'll sell the rights for something a little more than a lobster dinner, but I'll still sell the rights. Let's see. Tim Powers from Irvine. Rams wide receivers known for blocking okay, with Adams not really doing that. Designated blockers, Nakua, Whittington, and any tight end. Save Adams. I don't think I got into it on Monday. That initial racking of Adams, right? That initial racking he got early on where Stingley came up with the bum hip or whatever it was. And man, I thought he was going to die, right? It was much harder hit on Devontae Adams than I thought. Was it DJ Moore took for the Bears? That they picked up the flag on. But yeah, I understand Devontae Adams is a very willing blocker, but I want those receivers healthy. Let's have Devontae Adams ease back on the blocking, and let's have Puka Nacua decide not to run into every opposing jersey he sees, right? Practice a little Bruce Holt treatment and get down low. USA expat. How long until we both get what we would dream of? A 45-0 game. Oh my gosh. Are you serious? I know. Wouldn't that just be fun? A 45-0 game. Oh, please. Just one Sunday, right? Just one Sunday. Okay, football's back in action tomorrow night. I guess I got to make this pick. My Sunday picks are going to come on Friday and Thursday, September 4th. So I guess I got to make this pick. The Packers are already Super Bowl champions, according to everybody I'm hearing. So Taxkins at the Packers. Some people are thinking the Taxkins should have beat the Giants by more than a couple of touchdowns. It was 21-6. So I'm going to go Packers here. I'm going to drink the Kool-Aid on this. I'm going to say Packers 33-14. I'm going to repeat the score of Super Bowl II. And instead of the Packers beating the Raiders 33-14, or was it 32-14? I think it was 33-14. I'm going to say the Packers beat the Taxkins 33-14. There we go. And then the games that are coming up on Sunday, you got Browns. I'm not making predictions right now. Browns at Ravens. There's no way Ravens are losing this game. If the Ravens lose this game, there's going to be a huge meeting that takes place someplace in Baltimore. Jaguars at Bengals. Bengals have to play better than they did against the Browns. I think they will, so I'll give that to them. Giants at Cowboys. I'm going to go Giants right now. Right now, this isn't final yet. Giants at the Cowboys. I'm going Lions at home over the Bears. Do you think there's trouble in paradise there with Caleb Williams? Are you out on Caleb Williams? Are you thinking like when we were all saying in his sophomore year that, oh man, how can the Rams move heaven and hell and get Caleb Williams? And now you're thinking, nah, I'm good. I'm good on that one. Patriots at Dolphins. I think the Patriots are going to win. I really do. I think we're seeing the last breaths of the Mike McDaniel regime. 49ers at Saints. It would be marvelous to see the Saints beat the 49ers. I'm rooting for the Saints to beat the 49ers. I think the 49ers eke it out. I don't know how they're going to eke it out, but I think they eke it out. Bills at Jets. I'm going with the Bills. Seahawks at Steelers. Now, Steeler fan Rob is going to be all over me to pick the Steelers. I think the Seahawks. I'm taking the Seahawks in this, but I am rooting desperately for the Steelers. I really want the Steelers to win. It would be marvelous to see the Seahawks in a year of so much promise to start off 0-2. Rams Titans. I am taking the Rams. I'm a little trepidation there. Panthers at Cardinals. Yeah, all that goodwill at Bryce Young in the back half of last year kind of went out the window last week. And that window is going to close if he has a bad game in Arizona, who's a bit banged up. Broncos at Colts. The opportunity for the Broncos to bring the Colts back down to earth. But like I said, the Colts are a good team. The issue is quarterback, and it'll be interesting. I think that's going to be a better game than people think. Eagles at Chiefs, I think we're all leaning Eagles right now because Patrick Mahomes, who everyone seems to be out on all of a sudden, give him a receiver, right? I mean, this guy's always playing with used cars in terms of receivers. Give him a receiver, and maybe he has a shot. But I'm going to take the Eagles right now over the Chiefs. Falcons at Vikings. I never thought I'd say it, but I am rooting for the Vikings. Rooting for the Vikings in this one. We want the Falcons to keep racking up losses so we can move up the draft chart. And then Monday, they are doing a doubleheader for Monday Night Football, which I loathe to no end. But first time, they didn't do this last year, they staggered the games. Buccaneers are at the Texans, and for Pacific Standard Time, they're in the 4 o'clock window. Chargers are at the Raiders, and they are in the 7 o'clock window. So we'll get to see both games without the stupid interruptions or score updates, because when they play them concurrently, I'm recording one and I don't want to hear updates, but everyone's Walter Cronkite these days. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see. USA expat. Oh no, sorry. DHP, rest in peace. CK, absolutely. Neil Gonzalez and his family, blessings to them. Neil Gonzalez, what's the word, Pastor Joe, with the Rams injury updates? Don't get paranoid, man. Don't get paranoid. Let's see the report that comes out tomorrow. Let's see what else is going on. Again, same KBM that told you Alaric Jackson and Matthew Stafford. It was all dire straits, and they're both ready to play on Sunday. And Stafford looks exceptional. Don't take anything. Havenstein is an 11-year vet getting rest, and they're just nursing those ankles for Avila and Dotson. So we'll see what happens. Let's see here. Tim Powers, really like the safety blitz Shula uses from time to time. It's a wrinkle. I mean, Jalen McCullough, right? Who figures Jalen McCullough? But Jalen McCullough. It seems like what I really like about Shula is that he kind of, this is all still stretching back to Staley and the Fangio bit, right? And Staley leaves, Raheem Morris comes in, and they all kind of tweak it a little bit. I thought Raheem was in 2021 they were impressed a little bit more. 2023 they were impressed a little bit more, but they're in that soft zone, which was ridiculous often with Raheem. I like Shula's new wrinkles to that shell coverage stuff. So yeah, I'm excited. The Rams are deep. 3 sacks, Jalen McCullough, undrafted free agent, right? Tyler Davis, 6th round pick, and then Byron Young, 3rd round pick, right? That's 3 sacks, and we didn't have to pay $47 million, right? I don't even think we played $10 million combined for those sacks. Tim Burns, Jabril Peppers makes Pitt a little scarier. Are you talking about the Steelers? Really? Okay. If you say so, okay. I won't argue with you on that one, but he doesn't me. USA Expo, I hate to say this, but I'm a Vikes fan for this week only. Okay. Permission, hall pass to root for the Vikings this week. Blow the horn. Call on Valhalla. Willie Bowen, Minnesota Vikings are chokers. Yes, they are. Right? And in the long run, we despise them. Tim Powers, disagree. Kyler has to play better. Just keep on doing what you're doing. I didn't see enough in the run game to think something was his fault. Of course, he didn't put the ball on the carpet. But, pass pro, yeah, you always got to be, you got to protect your quarterback. Yeah, I'm not saying it was a good thing. But everyone can stand to be better. I'm not down on Kyler. Cheap shot on Adams. And he survived it, right? He survived it. Tim Burns, going back to end of last year, Shula has the Rams giving up less than 10 points a lot. Did you not see what we shared, right? We shared that. And then I saw it all over social media by the big boys. I don't know. I'm not a bitter person. Okay, we're at the 30-minute mark, guys. I might not go long. Last week, I was 12-4. In week 1 of 2023, I was 9-7. Last year, I took a huge hit. I was 6-10 in week 1. This year, I was 12-4. Okay, let's blow through some of this. I wasn't planning on doing it, but
It was a stone group, my man.
On this date in NFL or Ram history in 1988, the Rams waived tight end David Hill. David Hill was kind of on the verge of becoming a premier tight end there with the Lions, but no quarterback that would ever stayed healthy and a little bit of a weight issue made him kind of a glorified tackle. And that was perfect for John Robinson, and the Rams made that move to get him. And David Hill gave the Rams some really good seasons there. Always got good memories of David Hill. Born on this day in 1975, does anyone remember starting safety, free safety on those Super Bowl teams? Kim Herring out of Penn State. He turns 50 today. On this day in 1937, the Rams played their first ever NFL contest. September 10th, 1937, they lost to the Lions 28-0. That was their first NFL contest. And then every game they've played on September 10th since, they've won. They beat the Falcons. They beat the Falcons again. They beat the Saints. They beat the Seahawks. They beat the Broncos. They beat the Colts. They beat the Raiders, and they beat the Seahawks again. Not a whole lot of games played on September 10th, but every game they played on September 10th since 1937 and losing to the Lions, they have won. Tomorrow, since we're not on the air, September 11th, 1977, Rams waive Freeman Johns, Jim Bertelsen, Mel Rogers, and Tom Dempsey. The Rams at the last minute acquired Raphael Septien. Freeman Johns, along with Dwight Scales, one of the two rookie receivers the Rams kept in 76 when they cut Jack Snow loose. And what happened was Freeman Johns in the week 2 of the 76 season against the Vikings in Minnesota hurt his knee, never really made it back, and that was it for him. Jim Bertelsen was trying to come back from another knee injury, and Jim Bertelsen literally played 5 years, 72 through 76. And if you look at him in 72, 73, he had some pretty good wheels. I don't know if he fits the build that Mr. Bowen wants for a fullback, but Jim Bertelsen could play fullback in this league. Absolutely. And I think that's it right now. That's all I got. All right. Let's move back to the questions, see what you guys got here. Steve Ramirez, Kyron Williams had 2 great blitz pickups. Hey, that's a good pull there, Steve. I'm hard-pressed to pull them out of my head right now, but I know you, so I trust you on that. That's good news. It'd be good just to see where PFF graded him as a blocker. That would be interesting. AIB, thank you for joining. I appreciate you for joining us. I don't know if I've seen you here before, or is it Alby? Thank you for joining. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. I was at the game. Those Texans were hitting hard. Tried to take out Puka and Devontae and put a pretty good hurt on our O-line. Is this the toughest hitting defense we'll see this year? We stood up well. You know, what's really interesting, you say that, a lot of that doesn't translate through the TV, right? You know, you see Puka walking with the blood and all that kind of stuff. You saw the hit on Adams, but you're the second person like that said they were there to me and heard, the clash of the pads and the smashing, and that the teams really went after each other. And Titans aren't where the Texans are. So that might just be a really good, a good opener, and everything kind of gets a little easier. I think games against Seattle are going to be very physical. If the 49ers and Cardinals are healthy, they'll be physical. Cardinals are always going to want a piece of us. And Jonathan Gannon's a very physical style of coach. So I think there will be some physical games out there. The Eagle game will be physical. I hope they don't suspend Jalen Carter for too long. I want him playing before he comes back to play against the Rams in week 4, just because, I don't want him taking out his frustrations on the Rams. Let's see. USA Expat, the hardest hit I saw was the landman punch. Was that punch better than the one that Balboa put on Creed in Super Fight 1 in the first round? Remember when he hit him with the uppercut? I know that was a downward punch, but that landman punch, that was pretty powerful. Ron Reese, what are we going to do with Tutu? Tired of hearing Travis Rogers talk bad about him. Give him the ball. Ron Reese, I'm right there with you. This isn't on Tutu Atwell. This is on McVay. Do they keep Tutu and give him 10 rocks to stay if McVay isn't saying, no, I need this guy. I need this guy. I need this guy. And, it's McVay. 2 Super Bowl titles, 5 playoff appearances in 7 years. 8 years, whatever. 6, I think. You're going to trust this guy, right? And then he 25 snaps, targets, he caught 1 pass. Yeah, Travis Rogers, I will say this. I don't like Travis Rogers when he's bagging on Tutu. I don't, because this is on McVay. You can't got to stop punishing Tutu because he was drafted at 57. Let me tell you something. If I was drafted 57 ahead of Atwell, ahead of Creed Humphrey, ahead of Nick Bolton, do you think I'd have told the Rams and said, oh, you know what? I really shouldn't be drafted here. I'm going to draft me in the 5th round or 4th round or something. No, he had no control over that. The Rams drafted him in the 2nd round, and it's on McVay. It's on McVay to incorporate him in the offense. And I did hear Travis Rogers talk about, and I have nothing against Travis Rogers, but saying he never shows up. Yeah, he shows up. The guy caught 40 passes each of the last 2 years. The guy shows up. The deep out route was almost automatic last year. Drives me crazy. It's not his fault. This is on McVay. It's on McVay. Thomas Wilson, don't worry. The Rams D-line will destroy the Titans' rookie quarterback and weak O-line. I thought that very thing with the Broncos. Really good defense, good pass rush. I really thought that would happen, and they didn't do it. Now, maybe their first game, working out the kinks, I don't think Bo Nix has an effect on the defense, but in and how they played the game, I don't know. My expectation would be, yeah, we should go out there and kick butt. The defense did what it needed to do on Sunday. The only time I was worried was the final drive when Nick Chubb was getting yardage. But other than that, they held him no points in the second half, no touchdowns, literally 6 points because the bad snap over Stafford's head. Who snapped that ball? Oh, that's right. It was Shelton. Snapped it over Stafford's head, and they had to punt, and they got possession inside the Rams' 50. So the defense did its job. And so I'm anxious to see what they're going to do against a less talented, I think, at this point, quarterback and offense in Tennessee. Like I said, my heart wants to say 34-10, but there's this warning in here said, Joe, keep it real because you're going to have to come back on the air and look stupid. I don't feel stupid about predicting 24-7 last week because I feel like Colby Parkinson denied me of a 21-9 victory, and 21-9, 24-7. I'll dance with those. Those are close enough to where I can take credit for it. There we go. But yeah, Tom Wilson, you're absolutely right. It should be a blowout. It should be. Again, concerns, keep an eye on Havenstein. Watch Tutu Atwell snaps. See when Ferguson gets on the field. And I'm curious. I'm not worried about it. Everyone's making an issue out of it. It's a ridiculous issue. Is Darius Williams not playing? Darius Williams making 8 rocks, if he was a troublemaker and an attitude, never would have been brought back, and he still wouldn't be on the roster, right? So the Rams believe in him. He's in his 30s. Let's minimize his snaps as much as possible because you are not going to get a full season. If you get a full season out of Ahkello Witherspoon at a high level, then that's going to be the first time you got a full season out of Ahkello Witherspoon at a high level. And yeah, I'm excited about the linebackers. The good news, Omar Spates and Nate Landman played all the snaps. Sean Dolak and Troy Reeder were all special team guys. And we know Troy Reeder is special teams because he's the one that got the penalty, the flag on Jordan Winnington's return. But Troy Reeder did not see the field at all as on defense. So that was really good news. And then the safety, I love the safeties. I just think the Rams are in really good shape. I do think someone, and it's going to have to be Josiah Stewart, because I don't know if it's going to be Nick Hampton. Someone needs that Michael Hoyt role because I think it was Verse played 57. Byron Young played roughly the same, 54, 55. And those guys are going to need their blows. They're going to need their rest. So They're going to have to develop that. If there's a trade to be made, a situational rush guy for a team that's going downhill fast, I could see that happening. I could see that happening maybe before there's a center, unless there's like a catastrophic injury. If you just want to bring in somebody like a Von Miller type, right, down the stretch, doesn't cost you much, and his only job is just to give a breather to the guys, to the main guys, that's great. If you don't think Josiah Stewart's ready for that role, I don't think we believe in Nick Hampton yet there. Let's see. I'm hoping the Rams continue a streak of not allowing touchdowns. I got to tell you, if the Rams go another game, again, we're throwing out the Seahawks game at the end of last year, and we're throwing out the playoff game against the Eagles. Those are extenuating, explainable circumstances, right? But other than that, yeah, 9 points, 6 points for the 49ers on that foggy Thursday night. And so, yeah, that's exciting about this defense. I am excited about this defense. And you know what? I don't know if I got as excited about this I like the Rams defense, but when I was a kid, Steve Ramirez will bring up 75, I'll bring up 79, but all through the 70s, it was a great unit. You appreciated it. Oh, yeah, we got a good defense. But, I think because you get older and you understand the roles and the positions and everything's we're all smarter football fans than we were way back when. And so I do have a greater appreciation for the defense now. I really do. I wish I did then as much as I do now. But, hey, we continue to learn, right? When I wrote my first book, what was it? Here we go. Right here. I have to show it because I need some sales. Tangent Dreams, this high school football novel. When I wrote that book almost 10 years ago now, I'd been a sports writer for 18 years, right? And 17, 18 years. I thought I knew everything. And then all of a sudden, I'm talking about plays and schemes and everything that coaches would be talking about. And I realized that everything I thought I knew, I only knew the surface level. And I had to talk to coaches, talk to players, remembering, okay, what's the routine now on Monday to Tuesday to Wednesday, building for a game week and all those things. And I can't tell you how many guys I've worked with in the past, or even, just people talking to them about, oh, they're going to run a cover two. It's like, okay, dude, tell me what a cover two is. And, well, it's a cover two, and then they really couldn't break it down for you. So yeah, there's so much more we learn now by watching. And then you've got, the all 22, you've got all kinds of highlights everywhere to see and break things down. You've got some really good people podcasting that can really break down the X's and O's. So it's a good thing. It's a real good thing. Let's see. Pastor Joe, Brock Purdy is falling apart. Congratulations on signing him to $265 million with the 49ers. Hey, he made a great play against the Seahawks, but man, he's going to have to depend on Ricky Pearsall. Jawan Jennings, they said the shoulder injury is not as severe, but they said who led them in touches? Who led them in touches on Sunday? Christian McCaffrey, who was coming off that tender calf. Do you want your whole season to be dependent on Christian McCaffrey? Their younger, healthy guys are going down, and at some point, they're not going to be there when everyone else goes down. So, yeah, I'm not optimistic for the 49ers. I'd pick them to lose this coming week, but they're playing New Orleans, right? We're going to find out. If New Orleans beats Frisco, then we can kind of let the Cardinals off the hook a little bit, that the Saints are better than we thought. But I don't know. I just don't know. Let's see. Neil Gonzalez, I hope we have a huge lead leading the fourth quarter so we can rest Stafford and put Jimmy G in. I'm all for that. All for that, Neil. Absolutely. Manny Correa, what's up? What's up, Manny? Manny saying hi to everybody. ESG, former 49er running back Jordan Mason, he did look good for the Vikings the other night. I think that says a lot how weak the 49ers O-line is. He got hurt last year after rushing for like 700 yards. Jordan Mason's good. He is good. I thought that was a neat pairing with him and Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones gave me a clean sweep. I'm in 3 fantasy football leagues, and I went 3-0. And thankfully, because J.J. McCarthy found Jordan Mason down the line. There we go. Let's see. Manny saying hi. Steve Ramirez. Jim Tressel told me in 2009 that Madden changed everything. Players come in with such scheme knowledge, probably more so today. I believe you. I totally believe you. I haven't really been a Madden guy. I had it once. Doctor said I needed to spend more time vegging. I like the simulation games where you build your rosters, draft players, and then the computer simulates it out. I'm not one of those guys that has it with the thumbs. I grew up too late for that. I like coach mode and all that kind of stuff, but you learn a lot through that. But you see the play calling and the defensive schemes. Yeah, I agree with you, Steve. I totally believe you on that. I totally believe you on that. All right, we're at the 45-minute mark. Hey guys, I think I'm going to let you run now. We've had a full show. Tough day. Thank you guys for hanging out and keeping it on football. We know there are bigger things, and we know there's a lot of hurt and potential for a lot of fire and anger, but we kept it about football here, so thank you very much. Please hit like and subscribe. Share this with your friends. Tomorrow, not sure what time, maybe mid-morning, I am going to do a fan view broadcast from our new set here in the RamCave. Fan view, I used to write a column for many years, well over 1,000 columns, called Fan View, and so I've decided to incorporate that, make it a broadcast. I'm probably going to broadcast it live on Facebook and then take that and upload it to YouTube. And my plan is to do that Tuesdays and Thursdays, but we'll see how it plays out. It's just kind of a feeler out episode tomorrow. But thanks a lot, guys. I do appreciate you being here. And God bless. And we will see you, if not tomorrow, we will see you on Friday. All right, guys. Ward's going to be biting his nails looking at our D-line rush, Mr. Powers. Absolutely. Take care, guys.